So every week we have the Wednesday Night Wars, NXT versus AEW Dynamite, Wednesday Night Wars, USA Network versus TNT, whatever you want to call it. What I said basically was that NXT is a developmental brand. WWE doesn't make their money from NXT and NXT ratings. AEW Dynamite is their only show. It's their flagship show. So you're having a flagship show go head to head with a developmental brand. There is a reason why NXT loses majority of the weeks to AEW Dynamite. There's just bigger star power on AEW Dynamite. For all time's sake, we have John Moxley, Kenny Omega, Sting. I mean, there's the list goes on and on. Now we're including other companies, Kenta from New Japan, uh, you know, the Good Brothers from Impact Wrestling. Just there, that is a super show every week on Dynamite. There's no doubts about that. But to compare them to NXT, which is a developmental brand, this is where stars go to develop, to grow, to someday make it to Raw or SmackDown. Um, if you want to compare all these shows every week, compare AEW Dynamite to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, because that's ultimately their competition. Besides the point that they are on the same night, AEW Dynamite and NXT. Like I said, NXT is WWE is not making their money from NXT. WWE is making their money. Uh, they're making profit from, or they are making money from. Let me retract that. They are making money from NXT, but their goal is not to solely depend on NXT. They have Raw and SmackDown for that. Those are the bigger shows. Those are what AEW looks as to Dynamite. Um, so people who are comparing, these no-name people in NXT every week, no, they are building stars so they can go to Raw or SmackDown, so we can see them have moments at the Royal Rumble or Survivor Series and big time moments at WrestleMania, like Seth Rollins and others that have come before and after him. Um, so there's always this talk about ratings and all this stuff between the two shows, and I try to do my best to kind of stay out of it because I know exactly what I just said here. Um, yeah, NXT being a developmental brand, and to even like, you also have to think about the ratings too. Like NXT is basically, every week is like the same numbers. AEW is kind of basically the same numbers every week with the ratings, and they're pretty close, consistently close. They're only maybe 100 to 200,000 off, and people have said already. Eric Bischoff just said it a few days ago on his podcast. They're plateauing. AEW is plateauing. Um, to barely, and if you're looking at the numbers, 200,000 may be a big difference. But when you're talking viewership and ratings, it's not that it's not that big. It's not a big leap. It's not like you know they're not like here and here. They're like very near to each other. And like I said, AEW being the flagship show, or Dynamite being the flagship show of AEW, NXT being a third brand developmental show for WWE, I'll let you I'll let you decide the rest. Um, so I just had to give that perspective and give that input, because